Hello and welcome to this Magisters Terrace how-to video. I'm going to be running through this video quickly just to show how to solo Magisters Terrace. I play a Demonology Warlock. Now, some of this is pretty noobish. There's some really poor deaths and getting a little overzealous at times, but you get the general idea. So with these trash packs, it's a good idea to take out the Death Knights and the Magisters and the Mage Guards as well first up, because they put on a few dots which can be pretty nasty. I've thankfully got a pet class, so I can just heal him whenever he gets a bit low. But healing does pull aggro, so I've got to be very careful with that. These packs are fairly straightforward. It's just a matter of killing them. You can AoE them down if you have that kind of DPS, or even if you can heal yourself. Like a Ret Pally would be awesome, just run in, bubble, and beat the shit out of everything in sight, and it would all die. But I don't have that luxury, unfortunately. So basically I'm just going to clear these packs out. There's 3 bosses in this. The first boss is pretty straightforward. As long as you can burn him down quick enough, he'll die. The second boss, as long as you can burn him down quick enough, he'll die. But he does do a lot of damage, as you'll see when we get up to him. The third boss is 5 particular bosses, which all have different abilities. Generally, it's a pretty easy boss to kill. I tend to go in, have a look at, because you can actually see the third boss from the entrance. I tend to go and have a look at what ones are there, and if there's a rogue or a warlock in there, I tend to just run out and reset it. The rogue, if there's only one rogue and there's no warlock, it's doable. Not that hard really, but if there's a warlock in there, I tend to just run away screaming, just because of the fact that the warlock can fear, and I don't clear out any of the trash packs, so I don't want to end up just getting feared into everything and pulling the whole room, which has happened to me quite a few times. Even if you burn the warlock down first, it still can be a problem. So these packs are pretty straightforward. You've got the bruisers, which are the only ones you really got to worry about because they actually hit pretty hard. So just kill them first, just so they don't kill your pet before he gets a chance to do any real damage to the rest of them. So yeah, it's pretty much straightforward. I have just AoE'd these packs down before. I just find it's a lot safer just to kill them individually. It takes a little bit longer, but it's worth it, so you don't get killed and have to run back, because the run back is painful. So yeah, we're just killing. Probably hear a lot of noises coming from... I don't normally play with sound on, so I haven't got all the macros turned on to get rid of the "this item is not ready" noise and that kind of stuff, so you probably hear that quite a bit and it might get a little annoying. But yeah, normally I don't play with sound on, so I don't normally have to worry about it. So these packs are almost done. A few points there, my pet almost died because I wasn't paying attention, so I had to heal him up at the last minute. So basically, when you get up to this boss, I tend to go into demon form early on and just burn him down. I'm obviously just getting my health back here. I've got the heroic version of Mirrored in Spyglass, so you'll see me hell firing up before the pull just to get my stacks up, get me a bit more spell power. I'll send the pet in, but I generally like to get aggro on the boss before the pet on this particular boss, just so he comes straight to me and I can use Immolation Aura in Demonology, in demon form, I should say, and just burn him while I'm taking shadow bolting him down. So here we go. We're going to pull this boss. He hits reasonably hard, but not too hard. The good thing about him is a few seconds into the fight, he stops hitting you and goes and channels one of those crystals, so during that time you can just burn him down. If any portion of his health that's not down yet will die during that part. And there you go. Now, the reason to run Magisters Terrace is, there's 3 reasons really. One is the Orb of the Sindori, which is not a trinket, but an item that can transform you into a Blood Elf for 5 minutes. That drops off the first, second, and third boss. The other reason is the mount, which is the White Swift Hawk Strider, I believe it's called, which drops from the last boss. And also there is a kind of Ashes of a Last style pet, Fiery Phoenix, which also drops off the last boss, which is worth getting. I got the pet during BC when I ran this, but I never got the other two, so I thought I may as well go back and solo it and hope for the best. So here you see me just waiting a few seconds. Each one of those things that kills puts a debuff on you that stacks your damage by 5%. So I was just letting the buff wear off, just because if when I pull all these guys, sometimes I don't do it correctly, and a few of them hit me, and if the buff's too high, they can kill me. So I generally just let that buff wear off. So here I'll send the pet in first, so he gets initial aggro, and then just Seed of Corruption as many of them as possible, and then hope for the best. I generally tend to run away just at the last minute, just to give the seeds a bit more time to activate. So this one I actually just thought, well, I'll just seed them because there's not that many left in that, and it worked out pretty well. Now, what I should have done here was wait for the debuff to wear off, but I got a little cocky and decided just to run in and, you know, to hell with it and see how we go. Thankfully, it worked out for the best. And then just clear up the last map. Now, this boss was a pain in the ass during BC. Even when you had a good group, it would still be a problem. He does reasonable damage, but what does more damage is the orbs that he sends out, which can really fuck you up and would really screw most groups. It would become impossible to heal. I really should have healed myself here and gone in with full health, but I thought, screw it, I'll just shoot a death coil at him and heal myself on the pull, which basically meant that I didn't have the death coil up when my health got low, so it got a little bit hairy just here. I almost died, but thankfully, once I got him under 35% health and Decimate procced, I was able to just soul fire him down, so it didn't work out too bad, thankfully. So these guys, you can burn them down. They're not that hard, but they can be a little bit tricky, and they can kill you. So I've done them a few times, killed them, done them a few times, died, and just to save time, I tend to just dodge them. It's a lot easier. You can probably run around that little gap between them, but I don't want to risk pulling them just in case, so I'm just going to wait it out. So with these trash packs, they're pretty much the most annoying trash packs, so I like to avoid them. The idea is to run between the two mobs, but if you don't do it properly, then you can pull like I just did. I kind of got a little bit freaked out here and was like, oh, what am I going to do? Should I kill them? And I decided, no, I'll just put my soul stone on myself. Yeah, that hit it too hard. I'm trying to put a soul stone on, but it's getting spell pushback. So that's very poor, and that's not how to get around that trash pack, strangely enough. So I'll jump forward to that room again. Okay, so here we are again at this room. Now, you'll notice this time around I had to actually wait. The reason is that there is actually a Pat that walks around. You don't want to aggro him because he will aggro the pack next to him. Just let him walk around and walk off. There are 5 trash packs in this room, so I've tried multiple ways of getting around all these trash packs. Going to the right doesn't work because the 2 packs on the right are too close to the pathway and too close to the middle. You can, as you can see here, walk through to this point between those 2. I've tried multiple times to go the other way. I have been successful once in a while, but I find it easier just to use an invisibility potion here. I use a lesser invisibility potion just because it's cheaper to make, and it lasts 15 seconds, which is more than enough time to run to the boss. If you use an invisibility potion, it lasts 18 seconds, so it'll give you a bit more room to move, but I've never actually had a problem. So at this point, the pack that I find the easiest is this one, which thankfully I got first up this time running through MGT. Now this pack has a demon in it, so I can banish the demon, and the rest of the mobs really aren't that difficult. The idea, no matter which pack you get, the idea I find is to kill the main boss first, just because she can heal, and she'll heal not only herself but other people in the pack as well, and she heals for quite a bit, so you can actually find yourself just trying to kill something and it just getting healed up if you don't kill her first. I'll obviously pop demon form at this point and just burn. The reason is these mobs don't actually have an aggro table, so they can aggro onto you randomly. So it's a good idea just for me to have this immolation or a burning, so if anyone does come near me, they'll get hurt. This pack's very easy though. I just pretty much did burn them down. When there's a rogue in the pack, that can be a little bit more problematic because he does stun you in place and he can hurt quite a bit. But apart from, as I said, apart from the Warlock, there's not really any challenge to any of these. The rogues are a pain in the ass, and they can stun lock you, and they can also, if there's 2 rogues, it can be a big problem. I don't think I've actually come across 2 rogues though, so I'm not sure that actually is a possible combination. But there is a rogue and an enhanced shaman, which can be pretty painful because he drops like Wind Fury totems and stuff, which really hurt. Make the rogue hit harder. So I mean that was pretty straightforward. Just burn that and pick up the really crappy trinket, which used to be really awesome. So with these packs, you can actually dodge them, or this pack, you can dodge it just by doing what I do here, which is going around the little pot plant. But I find I've done this quite a few times, and the first few times I just didn't pull the trash at all and just killed the boss, and it worked out pretty well. But then a couple of times after that, when I tried it, the trash actually pulled during the fight, and the reason is that during the fight there is a phoenix which comes and runs around the room and so forth, but where the egg for the phoenix spawns is random, and if it spawns up near the trash pack, then it can pull the whole trash pack into the boss fight and you will pretty much die. It's not a hard pack to clear, so you may as well just spend a few extra couple of seconds and clear it out. If you get a succubus in the trash pack, take that out first, just because it can seduce you, and that's not a good thing. So it's pretty straightforward though.
Don't look so smug. I know what you're thinking. But Tempest Keep was merely a setback. Did you honestly believe I would trust the future to some blind, half-night elf mongrel? Oh, no. He was merely an instrument. A stepping stone to a much larger plan. It has all led to this. And this time, you will not interfere.
So for range, this is pretty much just a straight burn fight. It's not that difficult. Melee, it might be a little bit more challenging, but for me, I pretty much just run in, pop demon form, pop immolation aura, and just burn like hell. At about 50%, he shoots you up into the air, so if you can get him to 50% before you take too much damage, it's not too bad. He doesn't actually hit that hard, thankfully. He used to hit a lot harder when you were doing it when you were 70, but when you're 80, a lot of his stuff misses or it doesn't hit very much, so it's pretty straightforward. Get him into the air and just avoid those orbs that float around the room, and you've pretty much won the fight. If you take too long to take him out, then it will go back to the previous phase. You go back on the ground and you just start that all over again. But if you're ranged, you just pretty much float around the room and take him out. So that is pretty much Magisters Terrace. Not all that difficult an instance to run solo. I was lucky enough that this particular time I got my Hawk Strider, so I never have to run this again, so that's kind of cool. I got the Orb of Sindori on the 8th run I did, so this was the 10th run. So 10 runs to get a mountain and an orb, not too bad, considering how many times I ran it during BC. So that's pretty much it. I will leave you with what happens when you use a few potions to get yourself to massive proportions and then run through the streets of Dalaran on a giant chicken. Hope you enjoy.